Testimony resumes this morning in the baby Evelyn murder trial. That's where we're going to start this morning against mom Megan Boswell. Megan is charged with the death of her 15-month-old little daughter Evelyn, the toddler's body found upside down in a trash can several weeks after she was reported missing. Jurors got to see, or had to see, that trash can, along with several other items belonging to little baby Evelyn. We watched that play out yesterday morning. It was just heartbreaking. Court TV legal correspondent Kelly Craft is in Tennessee, covered the trial, and has more.
Good morning to you, Ted. Court will be getting underway shortly here in Bluntfield, Tennessee. This will be day 6 of the baby Evelyn murder trial. During proceedings on Monday, investigators showed the jury a lot of evidence, including the trash can in which they found baby Evelyn, also a onesie the baby was wearing at the time she was found, as well as some aluminum foil that had been placed over her face. Also, during Monday's proceedings, an interrogation video was played.
Well, they don't told me that they were much lies earlier. So how do we know we 100% now? It's going to come out. It's just a matter of time till they find out what went on. They got, how many guys? You got 40-some people working on this?
We got like 40-some people working out of this specific location.
Yeah.
That I swear to God, I just told him.
I'm just telling you, it's just a matter of time till it comes out.
Court gets back underway at 9 a.m. Eastern. Ted?
All right, Kelly Craft, thank you. Kelly will be reporting throughout the day here on Court TV as we watch this trial continue with the state's case. Here to discuss, attorney and former prosecutor Randolph Rice and criminal defense attorney Mario Gallucci, both joining us on this Tuesday morning. First of all, yesterday was a heartbreaker. We watched the state bring, and hey, let's face it, this case is a heartbreaker when you have a victim like we have with baby Evelyn. Initial thoughts, Randolph, to you on what the jury had to endure, be exposed to yesterday, and how it may affect the case and may help the prosecution because it is just so heinous.
Sure, anytime these gruesome cases come up, it's very difficult for jurors to listen to and see the evidence. You know, bringing that trash can out, bringing that onesie out, bringing out that aluminum foil. That puts that visualization in the minds of the jurors so that they can see exactly how heinous this crime was and really paint that picture, which the prosecution is trying to do, is paint that picture of what a monster she is.
Yeah. Mario, I know you're actually involved in a case involving the death of a child right now, and you know, without going into specifics of the case you're involved with, how does an allegation like that affect a jury? And I would assume it's much harder for the defense when you have a child who's dead at the end of the day.
So a defendant is already behind the 8 ball once he starts a trial. I mean, you're a defendant, you're already charged, you're already indicted, and now you're going to add to that the fact that the victim is an infant that was tortured and abused and died. So you have big issues here with the jury. You have big issues once you walk into a court with the child case. And I've tried many of these cases, and they're very, very difficult. Very difficult. You need to pick a good jury. That's probably step one, is to pick a good jury.
Yeah, and you need a client that maybe doesn't lie a lot, because that's what we watched in this case. And yesterday the jury saw more of these police interviews where she changed her story. At one point, she starts blaming mom. Take a listen.
Why did you only call your mom? We need to know that.
I think she had nothing.
You think she has Evelyn? You think she has Evelyn, or you know?
I don't know she does because she wouldn't tell me.
Well, okay. What makes you think she has Evelyn?
Just because the way she's been acting, stuff like that.
Randolph, it's one thing to have committed a crime like this if in fact she did. She is only, this is alleged at this point. But then to lie about it, it can turn a jury, can it not, from sadness and maybe a little empathy as a young mother, what happened, you want to know. But then if they are, which is happening in this case, they're watching this defendant lie, try to blame other people, try to pin this on loved ones, a boyfriend, the father of the child, and now mom. How does that play?
Well, what probably happened is that I'm guessing, again, like you said, Ted, she's innocent until proven guilty, but she thought, hey, listen, I won't say anything and that will be my story, as I just don't know. And then when she got pressed by detectives and by other individuals, she thought probably to herself, I need to start making up a story. The problem is that when you're telling a lie, your story is not something in your mind that you can remember, so you're having to create things. And the more you talk, the less you remember about the previous facts. And it happens all the time when we see defendants getting interviewed multiple times by detectives, and that's why they do it. It's because the story will ultimately change when it's not true.
Mario, the father of the child, apparently has struggled with mental illness and is institutionalized at this point. You could feel the defense pointing the finger possibly at him as the only other scenario. Would you put your client on the stand if things start to go even worse than they are right now as a Hail Mary, or just keep with the defense, with what you know about this case, and make it sort of insinuate that maybe this other person had something to do with it?
Well, that's a big Hail Mary. I mean, a Hail Mary, you're not talking about points in a football game. You're talking about years of your life. In a case like this, you've already stated we have a child that's dead. We have a mother that is lying. We have, I believe, consciousness of guilt. She did buy a one-way ticket to Vietnam. How do you not know where your daughter is? These are all questions that a good prosecutor, or any prosecutor for that matter, will drill her on. And, she's lying. You should never, one, speak to the police without an attorney. Number two, if you are going to speak to the police without an attorney, you really shouldn't lie. You shouldn't make up stories. How do you not know where your daughter is? How do you not know whether your mother has your daughter or not? If I was the prosecutor, I would key right in there. I'd start the cross-examination right there. I would say, where was your daughter? How do you not know where your daughter is? They're going to have some problems here as far as the defense is concerned, especially if they want to put her on the stand.
Yeah. Baby Evelyn, when she was first reported missing, mom, Megan, did an interview, and that the news director of that television station took the stand. They had the unedited interview, which the jury was able to see. And we'll play a little bit. Listen carefully, because there's someone off camera kind of egging Megan on, giving her some pointers. Take a listen.
Let's get into the last time you saw her. Tell me what that time was like and when that was.
Well, actually, I want to talk about that. I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself. Because I've told them, and they're not really, taking it seriously, and if they don't go tonight, I will go myself and go get her.
Tell them why they're not.
Don't get into that.
Cut.
Stop.
No, you need to defend yourself.
That's all they need to know. Quit.
They already know, Megan.
So, kind of go back into...
Sorry.
Sorry. Okay.
Can you edit that?
Just a calamity of errors, Randolph, and it looks so much worse after time has passed in a courtroom. Your overall thoughts on her just trying to, allegedly, navigate these waters by blaming other people. It's actually the worst of the worst behaviors that people are looking for out of a then 7 or 18-year-old kid.
Yeah, this is just one more brick in the house that the prosecution's building about her inconsistencies, and the fact that this interview is just raw information that clearly she thought that the camera was off or they would edit it out somehow, but when they're recording, they push record and they get it all. And to have somebody say, tell them what really happened and don't hold back, and she's being very elusive with these reporters. Again, it's just one more piece in this fabricated story that she's trying to tell that I think ultimately is going to sink her.
Yeah, she's digging and digging and digging that hole. I'm sure Mario will tell you, don't talk. If you're in trouble, if you've done something, don't talk to anybody, let alone some news reporter.